The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Pocono Speedway, and we see a lot of drama, a lot of craziness, and we see another driver pick up another victory in 2022. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race from Pocono Speedway, the M&M's Fan Appreciation 400. We're going to go ahead and talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in today's race, a lot of drivers would have to go to the rear of the field. So, Ross Chastain, William Byron, Eric Jones, Cody Ware, and Justin Haley would all have to go to the rear for unapproved adjustments. The big story, though, before the race happened was that because Kurt Busch crashed really hard into the outside wall and he had concussion-like symptoms, he did not race in today's race at Pocono, and Ty Gibbs made his NASCAR Cup Series debut. So Ty Gibbs is able to make his Cup Series debut today. Kurt Busch was out of this race, unfortunately, due to the protocols of the concussions. Wishing a speedy and well recovery for Kurt Busch. Hopefully he's back in Indy, but Ty Gibbs made his debut today. So let's now get into the race. So Denny Hamlin led the field from the outside with Kyle Busch on the inside, and Denny Hamlin going to turn number 1 got really high up on the track and scuffed the wall, and Kyle Busch was able to get the race lead. The first caution race came on lap number 7 for Austin Hendrick, who spun from 18th position off of turn number 3, got loose going into the corner, and spun into the inside wall partially, and unfortunately the toe link broke, basically completely ending his race. He didn't fall out of the race, but this pretty much took him out of contention in this race. Then we saw a little bit of strategy where guys like Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Eric Almirola, they came to pit road, while most leaders decided to stay out. So on the restart, you had Kyle Busch lead the field from the inside with Chase Elliott on the inside. And Kyle Busch got a really bad restart, went way too up on the track, got in the corner, and Kyle Larson was running second at the time. He got to the race lead and then basically got up to the lead and did it. And then we saw some pit stops happening at this point, some strategy where Austin Dillon came down pit road, and then Bubba Wallace, Chris Bell, Chris Buescher, and Ross Chastain, they came down pit road. And on that same lap, trouble struck for Eric Almirola, who spun off of turn number 4, got loose going into the corner, and spun out, bringing out the caution in this race. Because of that, that would be the end of stage number 1, and Kyle Larson wins stage number 1 under caution. We saw a little bit of strategy where Harrison Burton, Joey Logano, but BJ McCall, Cody Ware, Chris Bell, Ross Chastain, and Bubba Wallace stayed out, while the rest of the drivers basically came down pit road. Chase Elliott had, unfortunately, a really bad pit stop, basically with issues and lost some spots and dropped farther back. So on the restart, you had Harrison Burton lead the field from the outside with Joey Logano on the inside, and Chris Bell got a really good restart and jumped on, I believe, 3 wide and got to the race lead. And then the next lap, we had the next caution race come out for Josh Blicky, who had a flat tire and basically just ran into the inside wall in turn number 1 really hard, bringing out the caution in this race. And then on the restart, Chris Bell lead the field from the outside with Bubba Wallace on the inside, and Chris Bell got a great restart and got the lead. And then on that same lap going into basically the tunnel turn, Denny Hamlin got loose going into the corner and spun out, bringing out the caution. Denny just got loose, no damage on the car, basically got loose and spun out. So on the restart, once again, you had Chris Bell lead the field from the outside with Bubba Wallace on the inside, and we saw Chris Bell get another great restart. And then once again, we saw a trouble strike for Corey LaJoie, who got into the outside wall in turn number 1, bringing out the caution once again in this race. And then on the restart, Chris Bell lead the field from the outside with Kyle Busch on the inside, and Kyle Busch got a really strong restart and got the race lead from Christopher Bell. Then we saw a little bit of strategy where guys like Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace, they came down to pit road, and they basically all started coming down pit road during the green flag run. Then a few laps later, Alex Bowman came down pit road. Then William Byron came down pit road, and everyone else basically started coming down pit road. And then eventually, leader Kyle Busch, he came down pit road and basically got back there to 13th, and everyone else came down pit road. And eventually, we had them all cycle out. And then we basically, I think Eric Jones had the race lead from Ryan Blaney. They battled really hard for around first or second position and all the pit cycling. And then trouble struck on lap 83 near the end of stage number 2 for Ty Dillon, who spun from 26th position after just pitting a few laps prior. Just got loose going into the tunnel turn and hit the outside wall, bringing out the caution. And then we saw a little bit of interesting strategy where Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney both decided to stay out while the rest cars came down pit road. Now, at this time, there was starting to be some indications about some possible rain that was getting close to the racetrack. A big storm. NASCAR actually moved the start of the race up about 15 minutes due to this rainstorm then moving in, and it was starting to move into the area, but we didn't think at the time that would come into play. So on the restart, you had Bubba Wallace lead the field from the outside with Ryan Blaney on the inside, and Kyle Busch got a great restart and got to the lead in turn number 3. Then we saw a little bit of strategy where Bubba Wallace came down pit road, but the only one that came down pit road, because of this, Kyle Busch was able to win stage number 2. And then on the restart, you have Kyle Busch lead the field from the outside, Rod Chastain on the inside. Some guys came down pit road at the time, but we get back to restart with Kyle Busch keeping the race lead on the restart, the great restart. Then Ryan Blaney, unfortunately, he ended up losing a tire from 5th, but was able to keep green as he came down pit road. NASCAR decided to not throw the caution, and they kept the race green. Then we had some strategy started happening. Guys started coming down pit road. Chris Buescher first, then Todd Reddick came down pit road, and then Kevin Harvick came down pit road, then Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, they came down pit road, and then all the other pit stops started happening up at this point. Then Kyle Busch came down pit road about 38 laps to go, and then Ross Chastain got the lead, and then Chastain pit and actually had a better pit stop than Kyle Busch, so he got the race lead after that. Then Denny Hamlin came down pit road, and during that time, Chris Buescher spun on pit road, but they were able to stay green because of this. And then the next caution race would come out lap 138 with 23 laps to go, which would change the game for Ryan Blaney, where Ryan Blaney basically spun in the inside wall of turn number 3, the calamity corner of the weekend. He spun into the outside wall really, really hard, bringing out the caution. So we saw some strategy where guys like Todd Gillen, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, they came down pit road, and even William Byron came down pit road, where all the rest of the leaders decided to stay out. So on the restart, you have Ross Chastain lead the field from the outside. You have Denny Hamlin on the inside. Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin are battling really, really hard. Of course, these two have history from the beginning of the season. They're battling really, really hard. And going into turn number 1, both of them get into each other. Denny Hamlin goes up the track and gets into Chastain. Chastain hits the outside wall. Chastain spins out. And Chastain collects Kevin Harvick, and Christopher Bell gets involved in as well, bringing out the caution, ending Ross Chastain's day. That, I think, may have been payback from earlier this year. I know that Denny Hamlin's had some issues with Ross Chastain. You would go back earlier this year at Worldwide Technology Gateway, and you also go back earlier this year at Atlanta. Denny Hamlin said payback's coming. So Ross Chastain might have already gotten his payback from Denny Hamlin. We may see more from these guys. I don't think Denny Hamlin intentionally tried to wreck him, but I'm going to be for real. I think Denny Hamlin paid back Ross Chastain. Whether it's intentional or not, he paid back him, and at least in the regular season. But unfortunately, it collected Kevin Harvick, who's in the playoff battle as well. Really unfortunate right there. And Chastain, one of the best cars today. It's a shame, but basically it took them out of contention. So then we got to the final restart of the day with Denny Hamlin leading the field from the outside with Kyle Busch on the inside. And Denny Hamlin had a great restart and got the lead. Kyle Busch tried to get around Denny Hamlin and kept the lead. At this point, a lot of concern was starting to come in because of potential rain. Clouds are starting to get darker as the race continued, and we're really, really getting close to the racetrack. So it was unclear if we got more cautions in this race, if they basically were going to throw the yellow for the rain. Well, fortunately, the rain did not come, and Denny Hamlin got out to a big enough lead. Kyle Busch tried to close on Denny Hamlin to get around him, but it was not enough. And coming off the final corner, Denny Hamlin was arguably the best driver in the history of Pocono. He comes off the corner and picks up his 7th win at Pocono and picks up his 3rd win of the 2022 season, and now has won his 3rd race of the 2022 season. Despite not being in the top 16 in points, now Denny Hamlin is a 3-time winner this season. I will say this, Denny Hamlin definitely the last 2 weeks has been looking a lot better. Had a great run in New Hampshire a couple weeks ago. I believe got a top 6 in that race and bounces back, gets another win, and basically has spun and won this race. So an incredible comeback from Denny Hamlin. Do I think Denny Hamlin had the fastest car in the race today? No, in my opinion, I don't think he had the fastest car. But I think Denny Hamlin definitely deserves this win. He got a good run, got a great strategy to get up there, and deserves a win. And great job from Denny Hamlin today. Amazing run, and congratulations picking up. And now he, by the way, pending post-race inspection, of course, Denny Hamlin now is tied with Tony Stewart on the all-time wins list. So congratulations, Denny Hamlin, on picking up the victory and picking up his 3rd win of the 2022 season. So now we're going to go through my score of today's race after we go through the results, and then we'll go and talk about the race as a whole. So Denny Hamlin picks up the victory. Kyle Busch finished 2nd. I think Kyle Busch had the best car in this race, in my opinion, which, no coincidence. We know that Kyle Busch is dealing with some contract issues. Kyle Busch with his best run in a really, really long time. He knew coming this weekend he was going to need to have a really strong run, and he did this weekend. Massive weekend for Kyle Busch. It's a shame he couldn't win this race. I think he had the best car in this race, in my opinion. It's a shame those cautions started coming out for him and got behind on the strategy on pit road that kind of cost him an opportunity, but still gets a great 2nd place finish. Good run from Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott finishes 3rd. Chase Elliott bounced back from really getting trapped back there in the race. He still got a really strong top 5 regardless and continues his really hot streak. This is worst finish since Gateway, which is 3rd, which is really impressive fact that Chase Elliott's worst finish in Sonoma. So he still continues that top 5 streak. I still think Chase Elliott is the strongest driver going into the playoffs right now. Great run from Chase Elliott, finishing 3rd. Tyler Reddick finishes 4th. Reddick really wasn't a factor in most of the day, but near the end of the race, he all of a sudden really showed up in the picture and gets a really strong top 5 finish. Definitely showing he's got some speed going into the playoffs. Great run from him. Daniel Suarez finishes 5th. How about Daniel Suarez? Suarez was a top 10 car most of the day. In fact, most of the day was a top 5 car and really gets a well-deserved top 5 finish. I know it's only his 5th top 5 finish of the 2022 season, but a well-deserved top 5 finish. Good run from Daniel Suarez. Cristobal finished the 6th. Cristobal backing up another really strong run here after winning last week in New Hampshire. Backs up with a very solid top 10 run. Bell's car was not as good as the other JGR cars most of the day, but he gets a really strong top 10 regardless. In 6th, Kyle Larson finished the 7th. Kyle Larson did get a lot of points today at winning that stage, a really big playoff point he needed, and led some laps today as well. It seemed like the car wasn't as good when it got back in traffic, but he still had a really good top 10 run today. Very solid run for him and gets a 7th place finish. Good run from Larson today. Hopefully they can start building some momentum near the end of the season. They feel like they're starting to get more confidence, so good run from Larson. Michael McDowell finished 8th. How about this? Michael McDowell continues having amazing runs and got another top 10 finish. That, I believe, is 8th or 9th top 10 finish of the 2022 season. Having the best career season up to the point this year. He's consistently doing well. We know he's good at this track historically, so a good run for Michael McDowell in 8th place. Mark Truex Jr. finished 9th. Good run for Mark Truex Jr. Didn't get as many points, but he did make up some ground on Kevin Harvick after Kevin Harvick had issues late. Gets a 9th place finish. Good run from Truex in the top 10. Bubba Wallace with another top 10 finish. 2 straight top 10 finishes for Bubba. Had a great run today. In fact, I think he would have had a top 5 finish today if not for basically them making that bad call in the middle of the race. But they still bounced back to 10th. Bubba Wallace's team is really starting to click. They're starting to gel as an organization, and they're getting stronger and stronger every week. They're too many points back to basically get in on points, but A&E probably have speed to get a win or two here before the season is over. Great run from Bubba and gets another top 10. Solid run from them. I believe that is his 4th top 10 of the year, so good to see that from Bubba. Eric Jones finished 11th. Eric Jones got up there because of strategy, but also kept up there. Ran top 5 a lot of this race, led a lot of laps today as well, and really good speed from the 43 team. They're no fluke right now. They're showing most speed they've had in years, and great run from Eric Jones in 11th. Austin Dillon with a pretty decent top 15 finish in 12th. Really wasn't a factor, and quietly got a 12th place finish, which is how Austin Dillon generally is. Alex Bowman finishes 13th. William Byron finished 14th. I have no idea what happened to William Byron near the end of the race. He was up front in the early portion and then just kind of fell back. Eric Almirola gets a decent top 15 finish. Brad Keselowski getting another top 20 finish. Good run from decent run from Brad Keselowski today. Chase Briscoe finishes in 17th. Ty Gibbs in his NASCAR Cup Series debut completes all the laps and gets a top 20 finish. I think this could definitely help him potentially get the Cup next year if they do move him up the Cup. I know that today he really wasn't out there to be aggressive. He was just out there to get laps completed. Gets top 20 run. That's all he can ask from Ty. Was in the top 14 at one point in this race near the end. It was in the top 5, yes, because of strategy, but still, Ty Gibbs had a really good day today for his first race. Very solid run. Cole Custer finishes in 19th. I mean, Cole Custer, got to talk about Cole Custer for a minute here. Cole Custer got beat by Ty Gibbs. That's all I need to tell you. I mean, Jesus Christ, Cole Custer needs to do better. He is so horrendous. He's not that good. I know he had some Xfinity Series experience yesterday, but Jesus Christ, man, Cole Custer just is not that good. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounds out the top 20 and 20th position. Corey LaJoie bounced back to 21st place finish. Joey Logano finishes in 22nd, not a great over for Penske altogether today. Justin Haley finishes in 23rd. Ty Dillon finishes in 24th. Harrison Burr finished 25th. Was in the top 10 at one point, so that was positive to see. Noah Gragson finishes in 26th. Todd Gillen finishes 27th. 28th for Cody Ware. 29th for Kevin Harvick after getting damage involved in that wreck with Ross Chastain. JJ Lee finishes in 30th. 31st for Chris Buescher. 32nd, BJ McLeod. I don't know what happened to Chris Buescher. He was really good in the beginning, just never was a factor today. Austin finishes 33rd. Ross Chastain finishes 34th after crashing out. Ryan Blaney finishes 35th after crashing out. And finishing last in 36th is Josh Blickey after crashing out. So I'm going to talk about my thoughts on today's race and give you my score of today's race. Honestly, I think this is one of the better Pocono races we've had in a very, very long time. I do think the Next Gen generally did deliver in this race. However, there was a lot of dirty air effects on this car, and I think Pocono has been a track that's been known to be a lot of aero. It does not matter what type of car you get. You're not going to get always amazing races at Pocono. That's been historically known. I thought today's race for a Pocono race was really, really good. One of the best Pocono races I've seen, like I said, in years. Again, it wasn't as good as some of the other races this year. No, I think there definitely have been some other better races this year up to this point than other races have been. But I still thought today's race was really, really solid. There's some good racing throughout the field. Good battles throughout the pack as well. I'm going to give today's race here at Pocono overall an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it was a very, very solid race. Not spectacular by any stretch of imagination, but Pocono definitely delivered today. 8 out of 10 is my score. Crowd was also really, really good today. It's one thing I definitely did notice was the crowd today was really, really solid. And you love to see that for a track that only has one date right now. There's a lot of talk of the future of Pocono. We'll see how long the track is going to last long term. I think today's race really helps that long term stay around. Great race today, in my opinion. 8 out of 10 is my score. So anyway, that is here today's NASCAR Cup Series race review from Pocono International Raceway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notification to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon. Let's get over that and comment below your thoughts on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate Denny Hamlin on picking up his third victory of the 2022 season. Let me know in the comments below. Tomorrow on my channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video. We've got a lot of NASCAR news, especially surrounding Kyle Busch right now to catch up on, and some other news that's been going on in the industry, including stuff around Kurt Busch. And we've got a lot of other stuff we'll be talking about throughout the rest of the week. We'll have race picks for the Indy Road Course on Tuesday, and we've got a lot of other content that is on the way for you guys to enjoy. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and we'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.